Hi folks, well I'm back. I cut off the last video just as I was changing the saw to a rip saw before ripping off the edges of those boards to glue them up. So I'm going to pick up the video from there. We're going to rip off the edges and carry on. So let's get into it. Okay, should just lower the saw blade a little bit. It's dangerous up in the air if you don't really need it there. You should have enough so the teeth and the gullet poke above the work surface and not much more than that. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We need to rip off these edges. It's about 13.8, 13.5. Now, if I've got a relatively straight edge here, I can just check here, and I do. I can put that straight edge on the fence and rip off this edge. So from that edge to the groove, 15. Why was this back? I'll explain it another time. I'm sure we'll have something to do like that. So I've got a tape measure here and a sight that says it's 15 centimeters, so I just lock it there like that. Now I don't need all this sliding table at the moment, it just gets in my way, so I'm going to push the sliding table out of the way, butt this up to the fence and rip it off. Glasses. Now it's going to probably make some noise, so I won't talk. Something I didn't mention earlier, when I said I'd check if I've got a straight edge to rip this edge on the fence. But then the other thing is, these boards are cupped. So this cup, like this, doesn't make it very stable. So put it this way up on the saw. Now it's got a little bit of twist as well, that's not too bad. And then it's going to sit flatter on the saw and much safer cut for you. So I lay them all this way on the saw so that they sit relatively flat and it's much safer and you get a straighter cut. Okay. Alright, so they sit quite well together considering how cupped they are. I think they're going to make two nice sides to the cupboard. It might be a bit of an issue where the shelves join, but the shelves aren't that much wider. I'm going to cut some of this off and leave like a kind of a foot at the bottom or something so it'll be stable. So this won't be too extreme, this waviness. And worst comes to the worst, I don't know, we'll see. Let's glue it up now and see what happens next. Now, it's really quiet here. And usually I've got the music on loud when I'm working, and well, I can't because you won't hear me speak, and also there's all these copyright issues and stuff. So unfortunately I have to keep turning off the soundtrack every time I want to film. But never mind. So there we go. I'm going to start gluing these things up. What I'm going to need some cauls. I've got a video about cauls, you can check that out on my channel. And I'm going to need some clamps, and I'm going to need some glue, and some water, and a piece of foam to clean up all the glue. So I'm going to get all that ready. So I'm going to glue up, like I was saying. Some people are enjoying the empty highway. Did you hear that? The previous glue up, I did it on a time lapse. While I was doing it, I thought, well, perhaps I should explain myself a little bit. So this one I'm going to do it on video, and I'm going to talk a little bit on the way. So I'm going to get my cauls, and all of the cauls should have tape on the bottom. You can always skip this if you like, guys. I know I've said these things before in other videos, so if you've seen it all before, that's fine. These are long, the two shorter ones, I'll take them. And as you see, I keep all my cauls just under the table, handy when I need them. Now I need clamps, cauls, and my small clamps are in, they're all busy all over the workshop, holding students' work in cauls flat, glued up projects, tabletops, panels, all sorts of things. They're all being kept in clamps until my students can get back and unclamp them and continue to make them into furniture. So I'm a little limited on clamps at the moment, ironically, but never mind. Okay, so now I need some bigger clamps to apply pressure in this way. I'll just have a little look and see. Yeah, it's nice. It's flat enough for me. I want to check here that when I close up the joint, it's not going to be, I'm exaggerating, all right? But it's not going to be just glued on one edge like this or on one edge like that because they're crooked boards. If they're flat boards, it's less of an issue. They should all be square and flat. But I just need to pay attention that when I put on the cauls, they don't twist this in such a manner that it's not going to be a strong glue up. So now I apply the glue. It's in a aromatherapy soap bottle, but I like the tops, they're really good. I buy my glue by the gallon because yeah, usually I'm using it by the gallon. And I use my finger, as you perhaps noticed earlier, to spread the glue. Now I don't want to say if this is good or bad, it's just what I do. You can do whatever you like. And I apply it on both sides of the joint. And spread it all out nice and evenly. Now I lay one board on top of the other board and I rub them together, also to spread out the glue evenly and to squeeze it in between the fibers and get everything all nice and cozy and tight together. And theoretically the fibers will start to knit together like this as well. Glue all over my fingers. There we are. And then after you've rubbed it, if you do this, and you see it doesn't fall down, it means your edges were nice and straight and your joint should be nice and strong. No pun intended. Okay, now it's time for the cauls. Here in Israel, the cauls are called sulag. No idea if that word's Hebrew or not, nobody can tell me, but I like the word. Sulag. One sulag and two sulagim. Now, I'm not closing them up too tight at the moment. If they were totally flat boards, I could close these up really tight straight from the beginning. Because things are cupped and slightly twisted, I don't apply too much pressure. I want a little bit of movement there. It's more important for me to get the glue joint straight than to avoid any differences in height here. So just wrist tight, not too much, like this. And now I'm going to put on the bigger clamps to close it in this direction. I generally put the middle clamp first, because if the joint's slightly open in the middle and I close it here, it'll put pressure on both ends and close it nicely. If I close just one end, it might force the other end open, so that's why I put it in the middle to begin. And you want to make sure that your clamp is straight, not like this and not like this, and also not like this, because it'll always pull itself straight and it will pull your boards out of alignment. So try and be perpendicular, like at 90 degrees to the side of the board like this, and in the middle of the board. Now, if I put the next clamp down here, underneath, it'll kind of even out the pressure. Of this one pulling the boards up, and that one will be pulling the boards down. So I'll do the same over this side as well. In the time-lapse video, because I wasn't talking, I put this one underneath to begin with, and it made it easier. I only had to put one underneath and not these two as well. That doesn't matter. So now I'm just having a look here to see that these edges, that these two edges are mating up nicely. I don't have any major slipping and sliding going on. Yeah, that looks lovely. So now I'm just going to take the sponge and not too much water, and just clean up the glue. And clean it underneath as well. It's a bit of a tight squeeze. Now there's another important thing. When you glue up your boards, make sure you're sitting on something level and parallel. Because if you glue up, it's going to be crooked or twisted or just resting on one corner or something. It will twist the whole thing. So make sure it's all lying flat when you glue up. I think I learned that the hard way. Now it's easier to clean the glue now than later, so as much as I can, I clean it up now. There we go. It's still squeezing out. A good sign. Okay folks, so I'm gonna call it a day there. It's getting late. That's as much as I'm gonna edit today. I'm continuing working on the shelves, and I'm continuing to film, and I'm gonna continue to edit and upload it when it's ready. So I hope you're enjoying it. If you got to the end of the video, please let me know in the comments below. I admire you. I hope it's helping you pass the time. It's helping me pass the time. And so I'll see you in the next one. All the best. Bye for now. Take care.